This is Alex Boot, and I'm going to show you some workouts that you can do with just a bench and some free weights. So this workout should take about an hour, and it's very easy because with each move you'll do it in a set of 4 with 10 reps apiece. So when you first start out, you want to go with a lower weight because you'll be a little sore probably from 2 days before when you did this workout, and you don't want to pull anything, you just want to warm up. So it doesn't matter what weight you start at, but you want to do enough so that your muscles are working, but you also don't want to go too light that it's just way too easy for you, and not too heavy, of course, either. So I'll start with 55, but if you're my mother, then maybe you start with 8s or 5s. So it's important to have your head and your no pressure on your neck, and then you want your elbows to go slightly below 90 degrees, and you move both your arms together so that it's almost like a make-believe bar is in between. And I have no idea if I did 10 or not, but I think I did. So that is my warm-up. In between, wait about 60 seconds so your muscles get a little time to rest, but also not too much time, because you need to tear them down and build them up. With heavier weights, if it's too heavy, you don't want to swing them up without balancing them on something else, because that could pull something. So what I do is I put them on my legs, and then I lay down. And then back on your pelvis to get up. You can use the weight of the weights to help yourself get up. Also, very important, now when you're doing these, you're going to do 4 sets of about 10 apiece, and you want to bring yourself so you can barely do the 10th one. You want to do at least 6, so somewhere between 6 and 10, and you want it to be hard, but there again you also don't want to hurt yourself, so you have to be your own coach for that. I know a lot of people who will just do the same light weights over and over and over again, and they don't even feel it anymore. They don't get sore from it, and they don't push themselves. Then you need to push yourself to go up, but you also don't want to push yourself too quickly. So if you can do, the 4 sets of 10 too easily, then you want to question if what you're doing is helping you. So if you can do it very easily, then go up at least 5 pounds each hand. Yeah, make sure each hand is the same weight.
day, receive a handshake. Erase the tape, receive a handshake.
So when you do those benches, that is going to be the highest weight that you work out with. You know, you're just starting your workout, so you want to make sure that you put your foot, you know, your strong foot forward. There you go. So for this, we're going to do flies. So we're going to have to make the bench go up. For me, that's my first notch up. So take a look at that. Make sure your bench is about at that level. If it's too high, even the next notch is too high. You want to make sure that you're still laying, but you're elevated. And you can also make that front one a little elevated as well, so your whole body is craned back. For this one, you're going to do a lot light. For me, I'm doing 25 pounds lighter with this one. For you, it you know, if you're already pretty light, like 8 pounds, then you'll want to go down to maybe 5 or maybe lower. You'll have to judge for yourself. Form is more important than the weight. So for this, you kind of want to act like you're hugging a tree. You kind of bend in the elbows and you bring the weights together above your face, but you don't move. Once you bent the elbows, you don't move them, or you try, you know, not to move them. Move them as little as you possibly can. And do about 10. Then when you're in between, you wait again about 60 seconds.
Erase the day, receive a handshake. Erase the tape, receive a handshake.
Okay, now that we're done with the flies, we want to get a heavy weight again. And for this one, this is a stretch. It works your obliques, it works your stomach, it works pretty much everything. You just flatten out your bench again, and I'm going to use the same weight that I did for the bench, which was a 75. You just need one dumbbell. But when I first started this, I used a heavier weight than I did for the bench. So you'll have to be your own judge. This should be pretty easy. But there again, you want to get the form down. So you'll hold this weight with 2 hands. So I always just hold on to those front 2 fingers. You lift it up over your head, back behind it, and then back. And then you do that 10 times. You don't want to rest too long while it's up above. And you also don't want to arch your back. You want to keep your back, the small of your back especially, against the bottom of the bench.
Erase the day, receive a
with this one, we're going to change the bench again. Now you want the bench to be at 90. So with me, I don't even have a notch for 90. It's beyond the notches. And that's okay. Still is strong. You can lift this a little bit if you want. If it helps you by keeping you up, you can do that, or you can just leave it down. With this one, we're going to be doing the same as the bench, but vertically. So, you want your weights to be a little heavier than they were with the flies, but you want them to be much, lighter than they were with the benching and the other laying down stretch. So you'll have to find that. The hardest part of this one is getting the weights up. For me anyway, but that might be just because of the weight I'm using. So you want to swing them up. You want to bring your arms down to the 90 degree. Pretend that make-believe bar is there. Usually one of my arms dies before the other one. So you kind of want to wriggle your way up there. Do it until you fail, but don't do it until you hurt yourself.
Erase the day, receive a handshake. Erase the tape, receive a handshake.
For this next one, we don't need the bench at all. So now grab a lighter weight. This should be the lightest weight that you do. So maybe if you have like a 2-pounder, that might be good for this one. I'm going to use 20s. And you kind of hold them and bring them up and bring them down with a limp wrist, slightly bent elbows. This one is at the end of your workout, so you're probably going to be very tired. You probably won't get to 10. That's okay. You just want to get to around 6. If you can't get to 6, you need to go down a weight.
Erase the day, receive a handshake. Erase the tape, receive a handshake.
Now for the last one, I'm going to pull out the bench again. And this, we're just going to finish up the chest and arms portion with just doing your arms. And with this, I usually lean down like you're picking it up off the ground. So your elbow is almost against your leg. Or actually, it is against your leg. And then you do 10 on each arm. Now this weight should be less than most of them, even less than the butterflies, but heavier than the last one that we did. So it's each arm. You don't want to just work half your body or you look really weird. So now for me, since I'm right-handed, my left arm is weaker. Hopefully, if you do enough with the weights, they should be closer to the same. But you may never write with your left arm. Who knows? Now in between arms, you don't rest. But then after you do both arms, then you do your rest again.
Erase the day, receive a handshake. Erase the tape, receive a handshake.
I can show you a couple little things that if you don't do, it's not the end of the world. These are more for your back. So you may want to do these just if you have some extra time and you feel like you're really not pushing yourself hard enough, or I don't know why you decided this. Maybe you have a very flabby back. Who knows? You just want to work out the back. So the first one is to sit with your hind end right on the edge of the seat, the bench, or a seat, and then put your legs out maybe a little over 90 degrees because you want the weights to go underneath. 90 degrees, maybe a little over, who knows. And you look up, and then you put them out like that. So it's kind of like that exercise we did a couple ago. And this works, works the shoulder blades and like right behind there, like right in there. Sometimes people get flabbier on their armpits.
Erase the day, receive a handshake. Erase the tape, receive a handshake.
For the last back exercise that I've got for you, take a heavier weight. I take the same weight that I used. I used this one for the 90 degree over the head exercise. So it's a little heavier, but you only need to do it once, and you do one arm at a time. You bend over on the bench with your leg out, stabilizing yourself, and you pull up like you're starting a lawnmower. Now you don't want to leave your arm limp all the way, or you'll rest too much. So make sure you never go all the way down. But you'll feel that in your back. And then you want to switch. So you can move the weight all the way to the other end of the bench, or you can just spin around like this, which is easier. And easier is sometimes better.
Erase the day, receive a handshake. Erase the day, receive a handshake. Erase the tape, receive a handshake.
Here's an exercise that my wife Amanda has just showed me, and it requires a Bosu. So if you don't have a Bosu, you have to get one. So what you do is you put one of your legs out on the Bosu, and I think the heel has to be close to the middle of it. And you make the leg so it's about 90 degrees and put your weight on your heel. Your other leg has to be in the lunging position with your ankle in the air, and I'm really bad at this. And then you do this, where you're 90 degrees and go up. And you do 12 on each leg. That is the rumor. So then you do your other leg. So I guess it's 12 on each leg or 24 on each leg. 12 on each leg sounds about right though, because this is pretty darn hard. So.
Erase the day, receive a handshake.
Ugh. Now for this one, you want to flip the Bosu around so the rubber is against the mat. Now you want to stand on it and balance. Now you take those same weights that you used last exercise and pretend that make-believe bar is there. And do 2 sets of 12. It's good to get that balance in because you want to have your stabilization muscles get a workout. That's why free weights are so much better than non-free weights. So for this last Bosu exercise, this is my first time trying it. I was just shown, and now I will show you. Get down on your knee, and now get up so your body is stiff as a board. And hold like that for 30 seconds. Is that right?
30 seconds on each elbow.
30 seconds on each elbow. If you get too good at this, if this is really easy for you, then work on going down and up and do that repeatedly for 30 seconds. So this will probably be the last exercise I show you. And it doesn't involve the bench, it doesn't involve the Bosu, it's just lunges. And Amanda does this with a bar, a 15-pound bar. So probably 8-pound weights, free weights would suffice. So you want to hold them at a 90-degree angle. So it's like you're holding a bar behind your head. And then you want to lunge. So you go down like that. And down like that. And I don't have a lot of space, but just imagine you're doing that against the room. Lunges are one of my least favorite things. I've got, I guess, weak legs, I don't know. But I always feel it. I feel it in my butt, I guess. Maybe I have a weak butt. But just keep on doing that. How much do you have to do?
It's 2 sets of 15, but it's left leg, right leg equals 1.
Okay.
And so you do left, right, 1, left, right, 2. So you do that 15 times, take a break, and then do it 15 times again.
Okay.
So it's actually like you're doing 60 lunges.
Wow, that is just preposterous. So just imagine that that's how many I did. And that's how many you should do. So I hope that is somewhat helpful, and good luck with your workouts.
Cadets pass, sign my cast, disappear into the mass. Once home, I cut the grass, hold my breath, take a pass. Because you're able, get to the stable, cause the